And a lot of people don't know that I started young. Like I met Dan Martell, who I work now for as creative director. I met him when I was 16 years old, and I started working for him as an editor, which is wild.
Yeah.
And so came on his team. Obviously, my first interview with him, he's like, "Bro, you're a little bit young," and I'm like, "Yeah, is that going to be a problem?" And he's like, "You're on the team." And so that was 8 years ago. And then through that, I was able to kind of come on as video editor, edit his YouTube videos, early YouTube videos. If you go look at our stuff back 8 years ago, it's fucking shit. That was all me.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. He obviously introduced me to the right people at the right times. And, was able to build a small team at first, 3, 4, 5 people. And then from there in the last 8 years, been able to grow our media from, under 100K followers across all platforms, so over 10 million. And then through that, building a team of 0 to 15 people now full time that work for us, and that's probably what I'm most proud of, is having a really high performing team and also having a lot of cool people to work with too. So that's like the quick cliff notes.
Yeah, I love it. So okay, at 16 years old, that's transformational to have someone so impactful, because we were chatting before, and you also mentioned that your dad has an entrepreneurial history.
Oh yeah.
And like sounds like a pretty big role model for you in those early days.
Well, he's the one who introduced me to Dan. Funny enough, like when I was
interesting.
When I was 14, my dad calls me into his office and he says, "Come check this out." And he shows me Dan Martell on YouTube, and he's talking about software. And he's like, "You should really follow this guy and listen to what he's saying." And that was 2 years before I ever met Dan in person, and started working for him. And I was watching Dan's YouTube videos when I was 14, 15, trying to learn about software and building businesses. So my dad had a big impact on guiding me in the right direction. He never told me what to do. Like, he's never like, "Hey bro, you should do this, you should do this." But he's always like, check this out. Helped me buy my first camera, introduced me like a couple of my first clients when I had my agency. He was a big part of kind of like the early journey. So super grateful for that.
And even before 16, you had a marketing agency.
Yeah.
And you had clients in Toronto.
Yeah.
And you're partnered with an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
That. My first job at 14 was at McDonald's. So can we just talk about that for a little bit? Like that sort of puts you on a bit of a trajectory. That's a bit further ahead than a lot of 14-year-olds.
Yeah. And I was lucky. I always hung out with people like, older than me. And Matt, my business partner at the time, it's funny that you say business partner. Like, I was saying business partner back then. It was so beginner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was like, old enough to kind of drive around and go to certain shoots. And, we had a ton of gear, and we obviously were really passionate about it. And I remember the first time we landed our second gig for $1,500, and they gave us a physical check with like, the numbers on there. And I went to the bank with the check with him, and we looked at each other like we just found a fucking unlimited money cheat code. You know what I mean? Because we're just doing something we love, filming videos and closing deals. And that was kind of the addicting part was getting that done. So that was a cool chapter in my life, was figuring that out. And finding a way to make money with something you love, which is obviously like everybody's goal, right? And, was lucky enough, maybe call it luck, call it preparation, but I was lucky enough to find that at an early age and just double down on it.
Is that your take on luck? Like, that's one of my favorite quotes, is luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Oh yeah. Like, that's the thing is, through the influence of my dad having, books laying around all my younger years, like when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like I was reading books about investing, money, business, life. And I was very, very aware that I had to find something that I was passionate about. And I was never, the traditional education guy. Like I was decent in school, but I wasn't really focused on it. And I knew that if I wanted to like live a big life, I had to do things that, these big people have done, that written these books. And I had to like find something that I liked doing, that I loved doing. And eventually I was, going to get lucky and find the right opportunity and just double down. But I do think some people call it luck, some people call it preparation. I do think it's a mix of both. Like obviously, being born in Canada, you can't really like, you can call that luck, you can call that, luck of the draw. But what you do with the cards that you're dealt, right, is kind of up to you. And for me, it was all about, find something I like doing, doubling down, and then finding out how to make money with it.
Yeah. So then eventually you packed your bags and moved to Kelowna. And that's when you guys both went all in on media, content?
Yeah, so I remember the day Dan called me in 2023, and I was at the gym, and he's like, "Bro, I want to do this thing. Book came out. People are loving it. I want to double down on media. I want you to move to Kelowna." Keep in mind the time I live in a province of Canada named New Brunswick, and it's 4,000 kilometers 2,500 miles, whatever that is, away from, my hometown. So, it took me 2 weeks to make the decision, and, moved out, drove out with my friend, and we showed up to Dan's house, and we lived in his basement for like a month and a half, just building a media company. So we didn't have a studio yet. And that was the start of, basically just getting all the short form content out there, get started on Instagram, been able to grow his Instagram in that period of time from like 100K to like 400K in 2023. And then, doubling down on YouTube. We figured out YouTube late 2023. That's when we started to get real momentum. And then, obviously got a studio after that, was able to build a team. But it all started out of his fucking basement.
Holy shit.
Yeah, with one friend.
So it started off by doing something, making money by doing something you love.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
No.
That's pretty cool.
No, dude.
Like,
I still
stuck to your values.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I still love what I do. Still enjoy it quite a bit. So that's like what everybody on my team, I talk to them, all the time. And one of the questions I asked in the first interview is, what's one thing that you can do better than 99% of people that you do for the rest of your life? And a lot of these people I hire say, like, edit videos, write copy. And if you find people that genuinely love what they do, they'll fucking do anything to just do that for you, right?
Hell yeah.